And good afternoon or evening, everyone, depending on what time zone you are in right now. I am Cool Papa Bell 2282. Alongside me is my co-commentator Bigfoot08, and we are back here on Speed Gaming 3 with another match in the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2. How are you doing today, Bigfoot?
Oh, I'm pretty fine. Yeah, we have a match between the Oops, da war es auch nicht Team versus the Noble Foxes with noblytheforeign for the Noble Foxes and Ralen Tankir for Oops, da war es auch nicht. So it should be a pretty amazing game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this one. Still in week 1 of the league, of course. So, as you see at the top of the screen there, it is just a straight up open defeat Ganon seed, 7/7 crystals. Nothing too wacky.
Yeah, but by no means that means it's gonna be boring. We have all kind of very interesting possibilities.
Yeah, we've seen already, I think one person finished in about an hour 15 in one race this week, and another race, the seed took them to like 2.5 hours. So, anything could happen here.
Yeah, anything goes. And I think we should be off any time now.
Yeah, I believe this is the first match between these two teams. Of course, 2 matches each week, 3 points per win and 1 point for a tie.
Yeah, I haven't seen if there was another game scheduled between these teams. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure when the second one is either, but yes, we are in the Skull Woods division, I think, of the Dark World Conference here. A little bit crazy that we're up to so many teams that we're scrambling for division names.
Yeah, 64 teams, which means 64 games each week. That's a lot.
Yeah, and if you've looked at the speed gaming schedule recently, you will definitely see that. But I'm always excited to see more rando, so no complaints here.
Yeah. What was it, like 13 games restreamed only today? That's crazy.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. I see a complaint in chat that we got a German speaker on to say their team name. I can also say "Ups, da war es auch nicht," but
yeah, that was not so bad.
It's been a while since I actually studied it, so
yeah, Death King. I know why I applied for this race. Oh, and there we are off. The standard start in an open goes to the cathedral. Oh, and that's interesting by Nobly, because he saved and quitted out of the cathedral.
Got a quick map check from Ralen there. Saw a pendant, green pendant, I think, at Eastern, and then crystals at Desert and Hera.
Yeah, and Link's house had the first tier shield. Nothing too exciting. Oh, but that's exciting. Tree pull with bombs.
Yeah, that's why Nobly is taking the south route to pick up some bombs out of these 50-50 bushes here, but tree pull's also a really good way to get those if you can.
Nobly got lucky. 2 50-50 chances both go through. Oh, and Ryan checked Lumberjack, but I missed it.
Just a heart container, I believe, on the Lumberjack ledge.
Oh, too bad. I like seeing Lumberjack. So there we have the sink. There's a red boomerang in the woods. Oh, and the early bottle before Kakariko, that's always great to have. Now we can check Sick Kid, or at least Ryan can.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit of a backtrack for Nobly if they decide to check Sick Kid right away. So we'll see how they decide to route that in.
Yeah. Ideally, our runners would wish for the flute in Kakariko.
And Nobly is going to have to think about bombs here as well, down to just one more.
Yeah, I think he'll go down to the bombable hut here down there and pick up and farm some bombs. Yeah, he's doing just that.
Yeah, it's only a little bit out of the way, and then you were sure to get more bombs, so... And of course, there are bailout bombs in Blind's hut. Sword as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ralen thinks he needs some more money for the bottle vendor. Oh, and our first fetch quest, the mushroom. And now we'll be seeing the well. Ah, there's the rupees for the bottle vendor. And our first glove.
So with that glove, we'll probably see back of escape. Ooh, a hammer at the bottle vendor.
Yeah, and that means we are Moon Pearl from Dark World access.
Runners will definitely be happy about that. I was going to say the glove will also get us into back of escape. And now we have plenty of offensive firepower to do front of escape as well, but that might be a little bit longer before we see that since it's a slower trip for those 3 checks. But we did see the map in the sanctuary, so a little bit more loaded than usual in the actual Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, and Siki just has a heart piece, so early bottle not doing too good, but it's always nice to have a bottle.
Yeah, with that fairy in it as well, that can be really handy if you, run into some issues with Cold Stare or another boss fight.
Yeah, but just remember, if you're trying to set up a death warp like in Port or somewhere, release it first. We have seen some fun with that. So, and Ralen will likely go to the South Shore now. Oh no, yeah, he's checking back of escape first. 3 quick checks, maybe if we find a key, then noch Dark Cross.
Yeah, having that sword early on makes that dark room navigation so much easier, so...
Yeah. And there is that key. And the flute! Wow. That was good.
And that will be convenient for Nobly as well. They did not go back just for Sick Kid, but they'll have a good excuse to go back to Kakariko when they find that flute and activate it.
Yeah. Then they can have the Sick Kid out of the mind, so to speak. Oh, and Nobly is going to the mountain first. Sequence break, we don't have the lamp, but with the flute in access, it's not a sequence break. So the flute is our mountain access.
Yeah, and you almost always are going to wind up doing this old man rescue just to get the save and quit point on top of the mountain anyways. You're not really losing any time by doing this, even if you don't make any other checks while you're up here.
Yeah, and the old man rescue, those caves are quite easy.
Ooh, Nobly almost got caught by those cabbages there, but survives
Yeah,
just long enough to get the old man home.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he does the mountain that early, because no mirror, no hookshot. It's only old man inside and top of Spectacle Rock. Not many checks up here, and it takes some time walking here. So
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised to see him save and quit right after rescuing the old man and then come back for Spectacle Rock later, but we'll see if this pays off.
another $50. Oh no, just a hot piece. But why is he walking out? Why doesn't he save and quit? Is he trying? Yeah, he's trying Spike Cave.
Or maybe just checking the map here.
Yeah, that was Meyer and Port were pendants.
Yeah, and then Red Crystal, Skull Woods, and Thieves Town.
That could be interesting. Bow not required, at least for GT for our 7 crystals.
Oh, interesting. Nobly is setting up a fake flipper here to turn in the mushroom right away.
Yeah. One of the lesser seen fake flippers, but I've seen it more and more lately.
Yeah, it's a lot more common in cross keys as a starting maneuver, but yeah, is very useful when you're trying to do the mushroom before you have the flute, which Nobly unfortunately doesn't know that that flute is accessible just yet.
Yeah, but for him it has the benefit he has save and quit it just before doing this. So he can reset if the mushroom is nothing and still have the mushroom for fake powder, and he did just that. So for him, fake powder is still possible. We'll see how Ralen will route that in.
Especially since we just saw Ralen find that red cane in Mini Moldorm Cave, so that means fake powder is available very soon for either one of our runners, since we have that hammer as well.
Yeah. Now Ralen goes to the mountain and Nobly will get his flute. Very likely to activate it straight after and then go South Shore.
Yes, that mirror was also on South Shore, inside the dam, actually, so another good find for Ralen.
Yeah, that's very convenient. He'll be able to do all of Dark Mountain. At least the Light World, Dark Mountain.
Yeah, sometimes the seeds really telegraph where they want you to go. I mean, getting mirror and hammer this early on seems like a big old sign pointing toward Death Mountain.
Yeah. Either something in Hera or in Paradox Cave or so. And I wouldn't be surprised if the mids were up here. So you could check Dark Death Mountain as well.
So Nobly is also in Dark Cross right now, having found that flute in the back of Escape. Is going to go ahead and finish off the last check in sort of the back of the castle here.
Yeah, he's getting his bombs. Yeah, just as I thought, he'll just go and activate his flute and then... Yeah, I think he'll go South Shore.
Small key early on in Tower of Hera, so that might lock us out of the basement, since we have no fire source yet.
Yeah, but the second chest is still to check. But just a map. Hera is not clearable right now.
We'll either need that fire source or the hook shot to do everyone's favorite Hera pot glitch.
Just a red rupee on the floating island. And now the walk of shame through the spiral cave. Doing this without boots feels like it takes hours.
Of course, it's the only sort of efficient way to route all of these checks on Light Death Mountain, so no way around it at this point.
Yeah, especially since he has to factor in that he might have to go back to Hera if he finds a lamp or fire rod up here, which is not so unlikely. Especially for the lamp. Then he can go back to Hera and finish that off.
Looks like Ralen playing it a little safe there, rather than walking past those Tektites toward the sort of middle entrance to Paradox Cave. Is just going to take the intended route in, rather than mirror deleting that block we see right there.
There we have our second boomerang.
Can't blame Ralen for going the long way around, just because taking a death right there would be so painful.
Yeah. And that's Cane of Burner.
Wow, so despite that mirror and hammer, absolutely no progression on Death Mountain at this point. It's entirely possible that we're just missing the lamp or something in Sahasrara's closet, somewhere in the eastern area, and that Hera basement will lead us to the answer. Not sure where we're going next, though. Probably Ralen is going to go to that eastern area.
Yeah, first the mushroom, and then I think eastern too, but that burner opened up Spike Cave, and there's a powder in Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, so if Nobly was thinking about that magic bat check before with the reset to save the mushroom, he'll definitely be thinking about it now that it's actually in logic.
Yeah. And with the hammer we can even access it. And he'll be farming some money for Zora. Very likely a fake flipper incoming. Oh no. Oh yeah, he'll do the fake flipper from here. And it's faster to flute here. Interesting to see a fake flipper without the moon pearl, so he won't be able to check the waterfall cave.
Yeah, I might have been tempted to check Sahasrara's closet first, at least, since you could always just walk right out of there and then flute to 8 if you still wanted to, but is just opting for heading towards Zora as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And Ralen finds the cape. I know I would like to see the moon pearl on the pyramid. That's always fun. And we'll just need the lamp and the sword. Oh no, just the lamp. And it will be in logic.
Yeah, you sort of always hate finding that cape early on in the siege since it does point toward Aghanim. Our runners are both sort of avoiding that eastern area right now. You see a blue male on the Hylia Island. They might be just trying to avoid committing to double dipping Eastern Palace if they can possibly help it.
Yeah, but we don't have many locations left. So I think they'll likely be forced to do that. $300 on the Sora ledge. Not helpful right now.
And Ralen has a feeling about that magic powder. He's making a beeline for the magic bat right now.
And Zora is the usual scam, just $20. But it's not the powder.
See, just giving us a lot of convenience items like the blue cane and the powder, which don't seem to be leading anywhere just yet. So now Ralen's headed into Flute 5. We are going to see our first look at the Eastern Palace area.
Yeah, at least 5 items we can get here. 3 from Sasha, and at least 2 from the Eastern Palace, maybe 3.
And I do like what the runners are doing, leaving the front of escape until last at this point. Dipping front of escape is about the same as dipping Eastern Palace. It's a little bit better, but since you're thinking you might have to do Aghanim, it's better to kind of save that till last, and then you're right there for Aga if you need to.
Yeah, and we have the mirror, so no death warp or something like that required. So that's... I wonder if one of our runners would do the spike cave before Aga. Because with Burner it's open and could have something.
You can't get into it without the Moon Pearl, though, because even with some sort of Super Bunny, you can't use the hammer to...
Yeah, you're right. I just messed that up. I forgot it's in the Dark World, the Spike Cave.
It's definitely not uncommon, though, to see runners doing a couple of small sequence breaks to try and avoid Aghanim. You can just squeeze out your glove or Moon Pearl and not have to climb the tower. That can definitely save you time.
Oh, and there's our Master Sword in Eastern Palace. Aga is coming closer. And Nobly is going to show us what Sasha has. If there's the lamp somewhere here, we might as well have an Aga seed. Fire Shield and Ether. So, which locations are left? Because Eastern is lamp locked.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... Oh, it must just be Front of Escape. Front of Escape must have lamp.
Or something else. Front of Escape must have our progression, yes.
So yeah, Nobly is reading that in particular. I believe he has not been back to East Death Mountain yet, right? He has not been back up since he found the mirror. Oh, Moon Pearl on the uncle.
Yeah, that's our Dark World access. And now Spike Cave is in logic. But also Thieves Town. And we can dip front of Skull Woods. Yeah, and Pod. At least the first chest is in logic. Does Nobly have a potion? I don't think so.
He doesn't, and more importantly, he doesn't have 110 rupees to pay off Kiki right now.
Oh. Hope he realizes soon.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting play, but we're checking the stun prize.
He might just have noticed. No?
Well, he's definitely thinking about doing Pod and Eastern together since he has not been into Eastern yet. So he's, at this point, hoping to find the money that he needs in Eastern. And then he can just come right back to pay off Kiki.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Ralen will find his Moon Pearl now. He might go back into front of Escape.
One option that Nobly does have is there is a rupee room in the back of Eastern. If you go right in the back dark room, you get some rupees on the floor back there. So he might be thinking about farming up there.
Yeah, there are 90 rupees in that room. So just enough for him to get pot access.
The room's a little annoying in the dark, but with the powder, he can just get rid of the anti-fairies and then pick up the rupees at his leisure, so this will route together pretty nicely. And this is an interesting play. This is not something you see very often, but Palace of Darkness just has progression items so often that I like it.
Yeah, but he has to hope that it's not bow-locked, because if it is, he can check one chest. And not more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Nobly's mimic clip skills, but that is an option. But this could work out really well since Pot and Eastern are both pendants, as we've noticed, that you can just clear out all of these checks and never have to come back to these dungeons since you can't actually finish them right now.
Yeah, he's getting his Master Sword. We'll see. One thing I've learned over the time is that Pendant Pot always has progression.
Yeah, I think it's something like 2/3 of the time from data I've seen, Pod has progression of some sort in it, so it's usually a good play to clear it out when you can. Or at least it doesn't lose you too much time.
Yeah. So we didn't hear the South Dark World checks from Ralen, but just Red 20 still now. Did he do Hype Cave? I haven't seen it.
He did do Hype Cave. There was just not much in there, unfortunately.
So no Hype Cave, not Hype Cave today.
Yes, completely unhyped. I do like this route in general that Ralen is doing when you have the mirror, because you can get Cave 45, and then later on when you go through Thieves Town, you can leave out the north side and get Graveyard Ledge and those sorts of things up there. Since if you don't have the mitts, you won't be able to do Smiths anyway, so.
Yeah.
And yeah, Nobly is headed back toward that anti-fairy room. to farm up some rupees.
Yeah, and Ralen, he is skipping front of Skullwoods. I've seen him doing that a lot of times in similar circumstances. Seems to be a personal preference of his not to check in front of Skullwoods now. And it pays off because early boots for him. Well, quite early.
Yeah, and that definitely makes that north side of Dark World more appealing since you've got Bonk Rocks and Kingstoon that you can pick up along the way now.
Yep.
And yeah, question in chat about Swamp versus Pod. I believe Swamp actually has one more item available in an open seed. But since it's so much harder to get into, you're less likely to find progression there, whereas Pod is open right away most of the time. So it has more probability of having progression items in it.
Yeah, Swamp has that left side nobody wants to do, and Pod may be bowlocked, but with a bottle and a potion you can bottle glitch it and can almost full clear it without a bow. So it's nice to go there.
Yeah, Nobly does not have a potion, I don't think, so it looks like we are gonna see a Mimic clip here.
I never understood how this trick works, so I'm always amazed to see it.
I don't understand how it works if you're not pause buffering. That's ridiculous. So generally the way it works is the first frame that those mimics move, they don't have collision. So you can move them left 1 pixel and then move them, or left for 1 frame and then move them up or down to sort of lock their movement in. And then you just do that 4 or 5 times in a row and then they're far enough in the wall that they clip off screen. But doing it without pause buffering is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, and it seems to kind of work, at least for some times, because he's going into the wall 2 or 3 pixels, but then sometimes comes back out.
Yeah, that's what makes it tricky, is if you move them left for more than 1 frame, then they just lose all of the clipping that you have earned so far. So there's really little margin for error.
Yeah, he's losing it all the time. Oh, he's thinking about leaving. No. This looks promising. Yeah, and there he got it. Very nice.
Yeah, very nicely done. That was a good demonstration of an interesting glitch. I literally do not understand how someone can do that without buffering like that. That was very well done.
Yeah.
blocks. Of course, just rewarded with 2 keys on the right side of pod, but that will open up a lot of items in the back of the dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah, pod we have to have at least 4 small keys in the first 6 chests in the front. So it's not uncommon to find 2 keys on the Bollock side. Very nice blind fright by Ralen, but only a big 20 for that. But he gets his first crystal.
And that is one of our red crystals as well, so we're just a fire rod away from being able to access the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh yeah, haven't thought about that. Oh, and there are the mids in the C-shaped house.
So that creates an interesting decision for Ralen of if you want to do the Smith's Chain, and that looks like the direction he is headed.
Yeah, and I just see we got the Cane of Samaria, the hammer, the mids. We got 1 medallion. Maybe we could even go into Terra Rock and do a few things there. And with the boots, Mire is open. Maybe, if it's Ether.
Yeah, and that Mire area is pretty rich also because you can use the mirror to get into Desert Palace as well, which is another one of our crystals. Now, we are still short a fire source for being able to finish that, so you might want to put that off just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but if Ralen, if he takes the chest and goes south and yeah, from the guy who gets the chest, it's not far to Desert and Mire.
Yeah, absolutely. And since he's done Cave 45, he can just flute straight there now, so.
Yeah.
Worth noting also, Nobly found Tempered Sword and Bombos in Palace of Darkness. So yeah, we'll see how those medallions play out on Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. Nobly is wrapping up Dark Maze now for his last couple of checks in pod.
Yeah, and Ralen straight goes to the Maya area. And that was Quake, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, I believe that was what I saw too.
So the only medallion we haven't found till now.
And even though we can't finish Desert Palace without a fire source, it certainly doesn't hurt to dip the front half at this point, since you can clear out everything in the front and then just come back later when you do Misery Mire to finish off Landmo itself.
Yeah. I'm interested if he's going to pick up the bottle that was on Desert Ledge. He didn't before entering Desert. There's a big key. And Nobly is going to show us Pyramid and very likely Catfish afterwards. Oh, and he's mirroring to do the... Is he doing... Yeah, no, he's going to do the rest of Front of Escape.
That's a clever bit of routing that I had not thought about.
Yep. We have seen the map and the small key, so there'll be, what, 3 items here?
Yeah, and these are items that Ralen has not seen as well, so everything that Nobly finds here will be an advantage that he has for at least a little bit.
Yeah. At least till Ralen comes to the pyramid himself, and if he remembers to mirror there, I don't know if he will.
Yeah, both of our runners skipped out on front of escape after finding the moon pearl, so they were hoping to be able to skip this, but or at least route it in at a better time.
But till now it doesn't pay off for Nobly.
Ralen bought a blue potion. I think that's just to have as a safety. If you were thinking about potion glitching, you would probably just buy the green potion for the cheapest one.
Yeah. I think he's going Skullwoods. No, he's not. Well, he might go Northern Dark World here now. And all that leading to Port, I think.
Yeah, pod might be the last resort, that if he hasn't found anything before then, that he will go into Palace of Darkness. Just a single arrow on the bumper ledge.
So cape not required.
Nobly on the way to Catfish. I think with the Samaria and Red Boomerang, I'm not sure about all of the Ancilla splash deletion setups, but I'm pretty sure they can do it with the equipment that they have at this point. So checking Waterfall Cave right now, I think, is an option for Nobly.
Yeah, I'd think so too. Ah, and there he did it. Now we'll see a Waterfall Cave. Somehow I doubt we will see progression in here. Yeah, just a mirror shield.
Looks like we're going to see a similar Ancilla glitch from Ralen.
Yeah.
A lot of things about those Ancilla glitches make sense to me, but the fact that if you just keep the game too busy to draw the splash, then it doesn't knock you out of the water feels very strange.
Yes, yes. But there are a lot of things in this game that feel strange. A lot of the glitches.
It's very true. And as we always say, you know, it's hard to complain about the game where we explicitly play the broken, unpatched first version of it, so.
Yep. But I always find it amazing that this game came out, what, 92 or something? So it's almost 30 years old and we still find new things. Like Heraport, which was discovered not too long ago. Or now the Ice Palace thing.
Yeah, and it's just interesting what a role Randomizer plays in that, since you find yourself in you know, weird situations. Why would you ever have hookshot in Tower of Hera unless you were playing Randomizer?
Yep.
So yeah, Nobly is dipping into Skull Woods here. Gonna see some things that Ralen has not. And yeah, it's looking like we're down to either Skull Woods or Dark Death Mountain having progression for us.
Yeah, well, you could sequence break ice, fake flipper into ice. We have the mids. Bombers was in port, so it's possible.
Right. I guess there's also the hookshotless Swamp Palace play as well.
Yeah. Now we don't have flippers.
Oh, right. So no Swamp Palace then.
But Turtle Rock could be an option. If it's bombers or ether. At least one chest we can check.
Yeah, one guaranteed, and then maybe more depending on the keys. Very similar to Pod in that way.
Yeah, and who doesn't know it? Fire Rod and first chest in Turtle Rock.
If you play Rando long enough, you're gonna see crazy stuff like that sooner or later. So,
Is this even randomized?
Just the vanilla fire rod.
That's rude. That's very rude.
I'm not gonna lie, this is why I hate Skull Woods so much. I just never make the right decision on should I dip this without the fire rod or not.
Yeah. And, well, however you do it, you're going to be screwed.
Wow, so definitely a big swing there in Nobly's favor, finding that fire rod. That will open up Mocula for another crystal, and again that second red crystal.
Yeah, and I don't believe Ralen will check this anytime soon. He will do about everything else he can do.
Yeah, Ralen fans out there, ooh, I was gonna say you hope to see that you can't get in there based on the medallion, but Ether will let us in.
And I think he will go in. He will check first chest of Hookshot Cave first and Super Bunny Cave, but I think he'll go in. Oh, and he does it straight now.
Yeah, might be thinking about wrapping up this trip up Death Mountain on Spike at Spike Cave, so probably wants to work right to left.
Yeah. Yeah, but here we're Fire Rod locked in Turtle Rock. That's good for him.
Meanwhile, Nobly is dropped into the Mothula fight, still only on 5 hearts, but does have Tempered Sword.
Yeah. And that's a very nice fight. But just the map. But I think he got both items. Fire Rod and wasn't it bombs somewhere? Oh, but that's good for Ralen. He finds a bow and he can do pot now. Well, maybe not too good for him because he can do pot now, which is a pendant.
Yeah, and since that Bombos is going to turn out to not be necessary at all, that's really not much of an advantage in making that find.
Yeah, and it might let him think of sequence breaking ice.
Yeah, that is true. Tempered will certainly be nice to have, but
Well, Sagging Rufus, that's well, it's a lot about personal preference. it's good to go item dense, but it's also very reasonable to do all the crystal dungeons you can do. It's all about personal preference, I think.
Meanwhile, Ralen found the ice rod at the end of Spike Cave.
Oh,
That's definitely a big find, given what
yeah.
an awful region that is and how hard ice rod hunts are in general.
Yeah. Well, could be nice for Nobly that he still has to do Tower of Hera at some point, and it was fire locked, so he still has to go up in that area, so he might not miss it. But Spike Cave, well, it is a location that is quite often, even if you're in the area, lots of runners don't do it.
So I'm trying to think through the logic here. It feels like, because we know Nobly is going to finish off Thieves Town, and Ralen is probably going to full clear Eastern and Pod together at this point, since he just found that bow. It feels like Turtle Rock is actually the answer for our next progression, because we're looking for, I guess, just hookshot and flippers at this point, and that Quake medallion.
Yeah. That's true.
So Nobly still has to check out Meyer, which he might do after finding the mitts, but he, I think, has still not been up even Light World East Death Mountain, so he might be called to do that as soon as he finds the mitts and can cover so much of that eastern part of Death Mountain.
Yeah, he'll be able to do large parts of Turtle Rock. If he finds the ice rod early, maybe after doing Tower of Hera, he'll be able to full clear Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I would route that, because so often you just sort of leave Spike Cave until the very end of whatever you're doing and hope that you don't have to actually do it.
Yeah, because it's awfully stupid to go out of there. The most valuable option is to save and quit out of there.
Yeah, if you had the hook shot, I think it would make sense to do Tower of Hera, come out of Hera and do Spike Cave, and then just save and quit to the old man. But without hook shot,
I'm inclined to say he's going to do Hera, then going over right side Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain, and he'll be doing Turtle Rock, and maybe after that he'll do Spike Cave.
yeah, I think that's the most likely. That Spike Cave is going to be interesting.
So the early fire rod could hurt him there, because he'll effectively has to do Turtle Rock twice in the full.
So that was the Bombos that Ralen just found there. He's looking at his pause menu to figure out what that was.
Yeah, the dark rooms have problems with yellow items. They don't get shown.
And we see Nobly picking up his second crystal in Thieves Town.
I'm wondering if Ralen will finish Pod, because it's pendant. haven't counted how many items he got out of here. But there might be one on Helma.
Yeah, I think there is an item on Helma's sword. So it looks like Nobly is going to check the bumper ledge item and then just go right up Death Mountain from here.
Yeah. Maybe he'll do Bonk Rocks and Graveyard Ledge first. He hasn't done that.
Yeah, that's true. He is set up, though, because I believe he also hasn't done Hype Cave, because he started this whole Dark World loop at the Flute 5 portal, I believe. So he's really set up to sort of loop around the south side and then do the Pyramid Fairy check with Hype Cave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The Pyramid Fairy is in logic because he stuns Ghosts and Thief's Stone. Yeah, you're right. Totally forgot that. But he already did the pyramid. So, yeah, but yeah.
And another big decision point there for Ralen. He talked himself out of doing either Armos or Helmasaur. Is going to leave those items behind on those pendant bosses for now.
Yeah, and I think that's the front of Escape play now. He's done Pyramid and he has done Catfish. That must be... no, he hasn't done Pyramid, but that must be front of Escape.
Yeah, since he has that mirror still out, he can just head straight there.
Yeah. And I think after that he doesn't have much left. Except Skullwoods. Well, Nobly is probably pretty happy that he can't enter Mire because it's our third pendant, and no one really does want to go into the pendant dungeons. So he'll be very delighted to never find Quake.
Yeah, I think I said before that we needed to find that Quake, but forgot that Mire was our third pendant.
Yeah, we still can hope for something like Hookshot on Ped or so. Or Flippers on Ped are even possible.
So Nobly will show us one more item, I believe, on Lanmolus that we didn't see when Ralen was here, but more importantly, Nobly will be able to finish off this dungeon and pick up his third crystal.
Yeah, but after that, he absolutely might go to the mountain. Okay, Ryan, where do you go now? Yeah, that's the Skullwood play. He's got nothing left.
And it's just the most frustrating possible Skull Woods as well. It's the vanilla big key to the vanilla fire rod.
Yeah, that's always awful. But Ralen likes to check the big key chest first. So maybe he'll go to the middle of Skullwoods first, and then, no, he will check the front first.
And welcome to a raiding party from Speed Gaming 2. The story of this race so far has been completely opposite routing in the Dark World. Nobly started at the Flute 5 spot and did pod and sort of worked their way counterclockwise. Ralen did the more standard Hype Cave and then Village of Outcasts and going around the other way, but he skipped Skull Woods on his first trip through the Dark World, where he's going to find his Vanilla Fire Rod in just a minute here. So that has slowed down his crystal progression just a little bit, where Nobly found that Fire Rod 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but missing that fire that long could actually help Ralen, because he already found the ice rod in the Spike Cave. And that could prove difficult for Nobly, not because he won't find it, but he hasn't done much on the mountain, and it's very likely that he'll take his fire rod to Turtle Rock and clear almost all of Turtle Rock before he goes to Spike Cave. So that might give him a double dip of Turtle Rock.
And unlucky for Ralen there, it looked like the small magic in that pot in the upper left despawned, and so he did not have enough magic for a Samaria block.
Yeah, and he is going to get his full magic refill here in the room on the right.
So there is Nobly's third crystal as he finishes off Desert Palace.
Where was that bow? I don't remember.
Super Bunny Cave, I think?
Oh yeah, right. Now I remember. Because Nobly didn't do that, yeah. He found it his midst quite late.
Yeah, and also that interesting routing early on where he did Death Mountain very early, so after he found the hammer, he found his Moon Pearl and Dark World access before he got back to doing... after he found the mirror, rather. Found Dark World access before he got back to Light East Death Mountain, so he has not even been to Paradox Cave yet.
Yeah, I think he'll have to go there soon.
Yeah, as chat pointed out a minute ago, he's been trying to avoid that as long as possible, and just be in go mode when he goes up to Turtle Rock. But I don't think he'll be able to put it off any longer.
Yeah. And as I said, for him the ice rod location could be pretty unlucky. But now we're going to see the red bomb. I think Ralen will do desert now. He has his fire source now and can full clear desert. And then I think he might go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he might do the Pyramid Ferry before he heads up there. Oh, there's the hook shot.
Oh, he needs to do the Pyramid Ferry soon.
Yeah, so stalling that trip up Death Mountain definitely paying off for Nobly there, since he will be able to full clear Hookshot Cave when he goes up. Ralen also thinking about that Desert Palace finish.
Yeah, you can do it. You might never have to go to Myra, so just do it now and then forget that area.
Oh, Nobly is working so hard to avoid climbing Death Mountain more than twice. If he finds the flipper, well, he can't find the flippers in Ice Palace. What am I even saying? He's gonna have to go up there to get his flippers at some point for Swamp.
Only thing he could find here is the bow, but he won't need that until until he goes to GT. And even then, I think also there's a mimic clip is possible. So he might not need to find a bow. Only thing he could find here, from his perspective, is the ice rod. And we know it's not here.
Yeah, so I think that'll definitely be where Ralen's Ice Rod advantage comes into play. Is if he does Pyramid Fairy, he will know that Ice Palace cannot have anything that he needs to finish this seed.
Yeah. Same for Swamp, because you need the flippers to get into Swamp as well. Ralen will be in the position to both go mode Swamp and Ice Palace. And I think it's very likely that Turtle Rock will have our flippers.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere else it could be at this point. I mean, it could just be Hookshot Cave, but it's Death Mountain somewhere.
Yeah. So we have to hope that Ralen gets to the red bomb because before he goes to he'll go to Turtle Rock first.
Yeah, he was.
Will be okay if flippers are in Turtle Rock. That would be okay, although it would make him full clear ice. But that's not too bad because nobody will do that as well.
Yeah, so Ralen got Fire Rod locked out of Turtle Rock his first trip up here, so it makes sense that he's itching to get back there now that he's found the Fire Rod.
Yeah, he found the big key in the first chest, and that was that. And he can do Hera now.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten about that.
We just got the small key from here, so big key has to be in the basement. And then there's upstairs. No item. We got no item here because we had the map. Second chest. Flippers could be here.
So yeah, nobody having some minor issues with the Ice Palace bomb jump there. One other thing that I think is a little bit underrated about his skipping of Paradox Cave is he's pretty low on health. I mean, he has 3 fewer hearts than Ralen does, and he has definitely had to slow down just a little bit to refill his health from time to time.
Yeah. And seeing that, I think this is a very unhealthy seed. We have a normal difficulty, so all 20 hearts can be collected, and having just 10 on the Ralen's side and 7 on Nobly's side at about 1 hour, that's low.
Yeah, because we definitely saw a couple of full hearts early on that our runners are not going to get. One on the Lumberjack, and I think one on the Library as well that our runners are unlikely to go back for. So yeah, there's just those 2 taken out of the pool. The seed has not been generous with health.
Yeah.
So a quick recap, Ice Rod is in Spike Cave, the first bow that we found was in Super Bunny, and Hookshot was in the Pyramid Fairy.
And Lamp is in Ice Palace. And Hammerlocked in Ice Palace, as it is.
That's interesting, because that narrows down where those flippers might be, logically speaking.
Yep. Now a large portion of Turtle Rock is out of the question.
Yeah, that does make it more likely that it's Hookshot Cave, which would work out really badly for Ralen.
Yep, because he'll essentially have to climb the mountain one more time. Well, I haven't paid attention what items were in Hera now, so it might be here on Trollon. No, there's just a compass. Oh, and there's our second bow in Ice Palace Big Chest. And noblytheforeign is not amused about that. But good for him, he will find his silvers once he comes to Dark Death Mountain.
Yes, although that does mean Ralen is very unlikely to find silvers, because he will probably be in a position to go mode ice when he gets there.
Well, I'm still not convinced. If he finds his flippers before he finds his hook shot on the red bomb, he might full clear ice before going to red bomb.
That's true. It depends on when he decides to do that pyramid fairy.
Yeah.
So there is crystal number 4 for both of our runners now. Oh, Ralen forgot he doesn't have hook shot. Ooh, he's low on magic too.
Yeah, but there's a full magic refill in this room in the beginning, but
I think, ooh, does he still have 3 shots left to do the torches?
I think just about.
He does have a blue potion.
Yeah, but that should be just about 3 shots. Yeah, it is.
Calculated.
Yeah. He did that on purpose. Oh, and there are the flippers. That will hurt him. But now I think he absolutely will do ice before going to the red bomb. He might even do the first half of swamp and left side swamp. And that's not going to help either.
Yeah, there's this seed on the low health and green mail again. So yeah, I think the big decision point left for Ralen is going to be, does he dive swamp without the hook shot or do that pyramid fairy first?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the 2 deciding things in this run. The other one is when does Nobly find his Ice Rod? Before or after he goes Turtle Rock?
Yeah, because if he decides to do Turtle Rock first and then Hera afterwards, he would definitely do Spike Cave after that, but then he would waste all that time double dipping Turtle Rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, but if he goes Hera first and then goes over the bridge without doing Spike Cave, that would hurt him most. But
Yeah.
Because then he might not do Spike Cave at all. He might say, okay, Turtle Rock, I can laser bridge, but nothing in there, but I found the flippers. I can full clear swamp now. Ice Rod might be in swamp or somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Do you want to bet on Ice Rod being in the one check in Spike Cave or somewhere in the whole of Swamp Palace?
Yeah.
Either way, I feel like this is a seed where both of our runners have been randoed several times already.
Yeah. Especially by that Skullwood's big chest with the fire rod. Vanilla fire rod.
I also think that both of our runners probably feel like they're behind, because I think they both got Fire Rod later than they feel like they should have.
Yeah, and nobly here, this bow might not feel good for him, because he knows he could have had that a lot earlier. Well, Okay, but he knows that both Port and Eastern are pendants, so Bow is not that important in this seed. Yeah, I think we didn't mention it, but between our runners, we are in no mode. Silver's, well, one progressive bow was here in Super Bunny Cave, the other one was in Ice Palace Big Chest.
And Ralen picks up our first male upgrade there in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, we've seen the other one. It's on Lake Hylia Island.
Oh, this is good for Nobly. He's just checking what the medallion is for Turtle Rock.
Yeah. And he's going Hera. But does he go Spy Cave after this? Or does he go back to Turtle Rock? I can't see him do Spy Cave after this.
And welcome to another raid from Speed Gaming Maine. We have a interesting race going on here. Ralen is a little bit behind in finding his hook shot, which will be at Pyramid Ferry. Meanwhile, Nobly is just looking for an ice rod to be able to finish out this seed, but that ice rod is at Spike Cave, which is going to be difficult for him to get to. So we are not. We're on the edge of our seat here, trying to figure out exactly how these runners are going to route this.
Yeah, because Nobly he can go back to Turtle Rock after doing Hera right now, and I think he'll do that. He hasn't been in there. He'll be able to do everything but the boss. Find his flippers in there, and that's going to lead him to Swamp. So I'm not convinced that Nobly will find his ice rod pretty soon. So it's gonna be interesting.
It's also worth taking stock, by the way, that with those flippers in Turtle Rock and the lamp in Ice Palace, the seed expected you to do quite a lot without the lamp and double dip several dungeons to get it.
Ah, that's true. And with that fire rod location in Skullwood's Big Chest, so vanilla location, that's a quite mean seed in concerning fire sources.
Yeah, absolutely. It's why Nobly is just finishing off Hera at 1 hour and 14 minutes because our first trip up here we had no fire. And Ralen is through the first 2 phases of Trinex fairly easily.
Oh,
Nobly's
Nobly doing it. He is doing it. That's a good play. He doesn't know it yet, but that's the play he had to do.
Alright, so up next is Ralen's big decision point. Does he go straight into Ice Palace, or does he do Pyramid Ferry first?
Well, I hope for him that he does Pyramid Ferry, but I don't know. I think Ice Palace. Now, he has done Hera, he has done Spike. What?
He found the
Oh,
book.
yeah. Ether tablet. Well, that's not yet go mode for Nobly, but he'll be there soon, because now he'll go back to Turtle Rock, and then he'll be in go mode.
yes, Nobly showing off that nice trick with spin speed or some sort of super speed to get you through those spikes quickly on your way back out of Spike Cave if you were able to do that. I think one thing that might help make Ralen make this decision here is with the book, that's one more overworld check on Bombo's tablet that he might want to do. And yes, he's headed toward the big red bomb.
Wow, that's gonna be close, this race, because he will be able to go mode Swamp and Ice. Nobody has full Turtle Rock. Oh, that's gonna be close.
Yeah, I would definitely give the edge to Ralen at this point, because you have to feel like that go mode Ice is going to be a lot faster than this full Turtle Rock clear, even though Nobly is getting into that dungeon a little bit sooner. Well, I guess he'll pretty much be in go mode once he finds those flippers, right? Which are fairly early on. Oh, he's out of magic.
Oh, that could be it. That time loss could be it. Luckily, there is some magic here in Super Bunny Cave.
Oh, that's so painful.
Yeah, but still, we're down to GT routing, I think. And there's Ralen's go mode. But Ralen, he won't have his silvers. He won't have a lamp. Well, lamp doesn't make. Well, lamp could make a difference on Ganon if he doesn't get the torch glitch. He just has one bottle, and I think right now he doesn't have any potions.
Yeah, you have to think he's gonna have to take some time to stop and buy potions.
I think he wished he would have collected that bottle on Desert Ledge. Would have taken him, what, 5 seconds?
Yeah, and we just saw he does have a blue in the inventory, but yeah, magic is going to be a real concern as things stand right now on his trip up GT and in the Ganon fight.
Yeah. If he is lucky, he'll find something like half magic in GT or so. Flippers we'll see very soon. They are very Turtle Rock. You see, I think they are in the Fire Rod locked room on the right chest, I think.
So it's worth noting that as Turtle Rocks go, this is going to be fairly fast because Nobly does have the big key early. We'll be able to just steal the key from the Pokey and skip the lava chest. And then we'll be able to skip the big chest and Mimic Cave because there is a key on Laser Bridge as well.
Yeah. But is it going to be enough? Oh, this is gonna be close. There's go mode for Noble. Oh, and Noble, he doesn't finish Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he's just going to dip into Swamp first. I mean, once you mirror out of Turtle Rock, since he mirrored out of that roller room on the right-hand side, it sort of... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any time difference, yes. He'll have to climb the mountain another time. And, yeah, won't be any time difference. Would have been nice if I think we'll be able to compare right now how they stand between each other, because Ran almost has finished Ice, will be not too much behind in Swamp, I think. And Nobly has to go through all of Turtle Rock. I think Ralen might be like 2 or 3 minutes ahead.
That's about where I would estimate it too. Yeah, it would have been a little bit easier to compare that if they were running Swamp sort of in parallel to each other, but that's all right.
We'll see when they get to GT.
And the other thing is that Ralen has the advantage of the blue mail, which is not insignificant at the level of hearts that we've seen, although Nobly has picked up a fair bit of health that Ralen hasn't at this point.
Yeah, but nobody has the advantage of the silver arrows. That means an advantage in the gauntlet, and I think much more an advantage on gunlet.
Yeah, and that lamp too, as we talked about before.
Yeah, that as well.
I think that was Ralen double checking that this was the right dungeon to finish.
Yeah, don't want to do an unnecessary pendant dungeon now. I think this seed could have been completed without dipping any pendant dungeons. We never saw Myron, we will never see. I don't think, except for Bombos, Pod had anything interesting, and Bombos was not required. And Eastern was empty as well.
Yeah, Pod only had the tempered for things that we're actually using.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not hard required, so.
Yeah, but so you could have avoided all the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, I think this would have been a really fast seed if Ralen had dipped Skull Woods at the very beginning, because he just never would have made it over to the eastern part of the Dark World and would never have needed to.
Yeah, and if he had done the Pyramid Ferry pretty early then.
Yeah, that still would have been hard to maybe do Pyramid Ferry before Pod, but depending on how you routed your trip over there.
Yeah, he had already done Hype Cave at that moment, so I think he would have flew to 5 and done Pod from there before doing Pyramid Ferry. But it's useless to speculate. We have it as it is now.
Oh yeah, the seed would have been really fast if you just went to where all the items were right away, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Would have been interesting to see this seed as a spoiler luck race. Could have been sub 1 hour, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright, so Nobly will be getting back into Turtle Rock just about as Ralen is finishing up this fight with Argus. So he will be ahead by a go mode Turtle Rock minus a Death Mountain climb. Ooh, almost gets the 1 cycle Argus.
Yeah, that was a very nice fight from to now. That as well. He seems to be determined to get a win.
Yeah, this is the first match for both of these teams, so they definitely wanted to get started on the right foot. This has been a great one to watch. I think both of these runners can be pretty proud of the way they've performed so far.
Yeah.
And yes, Chad is getting a little bit ahead of us here. Since Ralen has all 7 crystals and is on his way to Ganon's Tower, we can start that GT Big Key guessing game, where there are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower where that big key might be. And if you just want to put your guesses in chat now, since we have officially started the game, any number between 1 and 22.
Yeah, and... Oh, Ralen just didn't use his hook shot, tried to jump that hole in the bridge. Yeah, we're seeing some creative numbers here in chat. 4.5, 7 to 11. And it seems that the tire room is pretty prominent. Everybody wants to see it.
Those might be Nobly fans hoping that Ralen has to clear the entire GT basement.
Yeah. How about you? Do you have a specific number you try to guess every time?
I went with 11 this time around. I'm not too particular about it. I just picked something no one else said.
Yeah, I got my standard 12. I take that every time. Depending on routing, it can be a very different amount of chests. Very interesting.
So Ralen started his GT animation at 127.50.
Yeah, and the GT guessing game is now closed. 19 points will be awarded to the winner. Oh, that was half magic in the first chest. That will help him definitely.
Yeah, that definitely alleviates any of those concerns about having to use fire rod instead of lamp as a fire source.
Yeah. Yeah, Nobly just about to be finished in Rock. He'll have a small key there. Just triangles remaining.
That was checks 3 through 6. No big key as of yet.
Yeah, he'll be grabbing the small key, then going left side. Check number 7 incoming. Just 10 arrows. Now 8 to 11. Small key. Ah, there is it. That is number 9. Oh yeah, I forgot a space there. And that is Blazingal was the winner of the GT Key guessing game. Congratulations!
So it looks like Nobly is going to be about 3 minutes behind going into GT, a little bit more than that. But with that GT Big Key location, if he goes full left or is thinking Dark Magician, he can definitely eat up a little bit of that time. But then he would be going without half magic, I guess, so
Yeah.
he's definitely got a bit of a climb ahead of him.
Well, but for Noble, it wouldn't do too much not to have half magic, which it seems he won't have, because he has the silvers. So Torchlich doesn't matter too much for him.
Yeah, it's really only in the gauntlet if you want to spam fire rod shots that he won't really be able to do without that half magic.
Yeah, but he can spam silvers instead, and it's not too much worse. So
Yeah, that's true.
but he has just 2 small keys. Oh no, that should be okay.
Yeah, that was really the ideal GT for Nobly. Opened 2 chests, found a small key and the big key.
Yeah. And that was a very nice Lammer fight for Ralen.
Yeah, 2 cycles is about the best you can ask for. Obviously, 1 is possible, but a lot easier with silvers or if you have plenty of magic to burn.
Yeah. Nice wizard rooms.
Yeah, Ralen is definitely making quick work of this climb.
Yeah, I've said it often before. The amount of times those players do that GT climb, it's pretty much muscle memory. You know what you have to do. Can even afford to miss some fire shots there.
I was gonna say, torches are the real final boss today, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, Ralen is now fully filled on health and magic. Still has that blue potion in his back pocket.
Muldom too. Oh, no, also no problem. Yeah, he's hoping for the silvers, but they are in ice. Ralen went out of the Lanmo 2 room at about 1 hour 37. So 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Nobly is behind right now.
Yes, we definitely made up some time with that big key routing and having those silvers for the gauntlet, but we will see if that's enough to catch him up here. I think Ralen is still in decent shape if he can execute this Ganon fight.
Yeah, I think so too. Silvers will make a small difference, but not 2 minutes. If Ralen doesn't fall or some calamity happens, I don't think there's a chance. But we'll see. Everything is possible. There, Aga 2 is down for Ralen, and he'll be dropping down to Ganon shortly.
Gets that trident spin, so he is ready for the 1-and-1 cycle through the first 2 phases of Ganon.
Yeah, and that is a very nice position for Ganon. Yeah, and that's phase 1 and 2 already done. Until now, pretty reasonable teleports, but now it's getting annoying. But now they're fourth. And he does get the torch glitch. Very nice timing. Now just 12 spins.
Ooh, nicely done to set up for this triple on this phase.
Yeah,
As
that
Nobody's
makes
into his Aga 2 fight.
5 spins for Ralen. Going for triples here. That's 8 spins. Ah, missed that.
Yeah, that's so hard when he's on the upper right.
Yeah. That's 10 now. Oh, it was already 11, so there Ganon is down. Just don't fall now. And there he has done it. GG Ralen. Very nice race from both runners.
With an official SRL time of 1:38:03. Get your GGs in chat for Ralen. Very well done.
Yeah. And it seems we are lucky enough to have Ralen here for an interview. And there he is. GG Ralen.
GG.
Oh, we're gonna pause the interview just a second. Nobly, unfortunately,
Yeah.
took a death there on that Ganon fight.
Yeah, that's unlucky. Yeah. Ralen, what did you think about that seed?
If I want to do NMG Skull Woods, then I will play NMG. Don't need that in Rando.
Yeah, that was rude.
Yeah, it wasn't possibly fast seed if you do the right things at the right time, but you had to get that ice rod at Spy Cave, which that is not necessarily one to grab easily. And yeah, everything else kinda lined up in a way.
Yeah, things were pretty close at the end. We were a little bit worried about when you were going to do that pyramid ferry versus full clearing ice palace. Do you want to talk about that decision at all?
Well, that was, or full clearing ice palace never was an option aside from paying close attention to the logic with hookshot no mode, hookshot go mode. Knowing to where the hookshot can be in ice palace and where not is important. So I might have gone to ice palace first, but I would have paid close attention to logic, so if, to see if the hookshot could have even been on the right side or not.
Well, Lant definitely was on Ice Palace right side. And he would have gotten your silvers in Ice Palace big chest.
Yeah, silvers are not that important, especially if you do not have to fight Vitrius. You get the tempered sword. They are kind of optional. Yeah. But yeah, I was always going to do Pyramid Ferry first there. It was open comparatively early, especially with that fire rod in Skullwoods. So I was banking on it being there. Ouch.
Yeah. I just was going to say that. Nobly just fell by at Ganon, so just lucky number 3, I think it has to be.
Yeah, but at this point, you have the erase chest open, you can see your opponent has already got done, and then your focus will slip away. That
Yeah, it's
can happen.
Yeah, it's hard to really execute that Ganon fight when you're when you know you've lost a close race.
Yeah, but Ralen, I think you did your team name proud today. Ups, da war es auch nicht. Especially concerning the fire rod, which was absolutely your last location.
Yep, it truly was. So, doing my team proud already. Can't have a better seat.
Yeah, the other big interesting point near the end of the race was that ice rod, because since you were still looking around for fire rod, you found the ice rod a whole lot earlier than your opponent did, and didn't have to make multiple trips into, or at least multiple trips far into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that was kinda my hope at that point, knowing that I last located that fire rod. I knew ice rod is not something you grab easily there in Spy Cave, and then seeing flippers in Turtle Rock, knowing that you have to do an additional trip up the mountain in any case. You cannot finish Turtle Rock last, you have to do Swamp first, or you have to double dip Turtle Rock. So that was kind of my hope that, yeah, having that ice rod earlier and wasn't actually not, or last locating the fire rod and there, and because of it having the ice rod earlier wasn't actually bad.
Yeah. But now, Nobly the Foreign has also finished. GG.
And yes, get your GGs in chat there. We will try and get Nobly into chat as well to talk about this seed.
Yeah, and then he is here and can come for us.
Oh.
We'll
Hey, GG.
yeah, GG's.
GG.
Oh my god, what a seed.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, that's for sure.
Well, to be fair, I was shaking from like 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, my nerves just kicked in and I was starting to shake like crazy. And that's one of the reasons why I was struggling so early with my mimic clip in pod as well.
But we have to say that mimic clip, it was impressive. Without a pause buffer, wow.
Yeah. Well, gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, so you took an interesting route through the dark world. Do you want to talk about sort of what went into your thought process of sort of starting that pod and working your way around from there?
My early play was basically going from south to CAC, and the reason why I did that was hoping to find gloves so I can go up the mountain. And when I found the gloves and went up the mountain, I saw the dark world layout, which I saw was Skullwoods was 5-6 and Thieves Down was the 5-6. And I saw Penn, Pod, and Penn Eastern, and I know I can mimic clip both GT and pod on a regular basis. So basically I was like hoping progress was gonna be in like pendant pod bow locked, and the bow would be in a funky way. So that was like my play. And when I found bombos, I was like super hype about bombos to never really even need it. But the two swords were nice.
You could have skipped all the pendant dungeons.
That depends actually on where the last sword is though. Because two swords were in Eastern and Pod.
Yeah, that's right. I remember, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So you had to do either one of them, but having that tempered sword early wasn't gonna has with that, and finding a fire rod in Skullwoods, is this even rando?
Yeah, with the vanilla big key too.
Yeah.
I already said, if I want to do NMG Skullwoods, I will play NMG. I don't need that in rando.
The thing is, I almost left after finding the front item. I was like, well, I have the cane. It's a fast check if it's nothing. And I was like, and then it's big key, and then there's nothing. And then I was like, oh, fire rod. Wow. Didn't expect that. And then I was like, okay, let's just finish this, finish that. And then I found boots in Outcast, and I was like, oh, he went here much earlier because it was Thieves Down Crystal. You need to do it going here early as soon as you get Darkworld access. So I was like, okay, he probably has the boots now, like 10 minutes ago. And while I've been doing mimic clips poor, my decisions went like, okay, I have to do something smart to get me back in the game. So I was like, okay, let's Galaxy Ice Palace and find Ice Rod, hopefully. But then I found Lamp, and okay, so I knew Flippers was gonna be early, or like on Smith's Chain or something stupid. So I was like, okay, I haven't been on Mountain yet, so Flippers are possibly there. So, and I almost dipped Turtle Rock without even having the Ice Rock. I
have to say we have been, especially I have been very concerned about that, and we had a sigh of relief as you checked Spike Cave after doing Hera.
Yeah, I had Spike Cave and Spiral Cave left after Hera, so I was like, okay, I can spin speed out of the Spike Cave and do like Spiral afterwards, and then I'm gonna go into Turtle Rock if I don't find Ice Rod. And then I found the Ice Rod, and I was like, okay, if the Flippers aren't in front of Ice Rod, it can't be in the back because of the lamp. So I was like, gonna go mode it from after the big chest.
Yeah, I was pretty concerned you'd go Turtle Rock first and then find the Flippers and then do all of Swamp or something like that before you go to the Spike Cave.
Yeah.
It was kind of my hope that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's good thinking about the lamp logic, because otherwise, you know, if the Flippers hadn't been early on in Turtle Rock, they pretty much would have had to be in Mire at that point, although we didn't have the Quake Medallion yet, so. But yeah, it was good to keep that lamp logic in mind.
Yeah, and as soon as I found the Titans, I skipped basically Digging Game, Stumpy, all of the Smith Chain, so I had plenty left to do there, K45. And also, finding a hookshot in the 5-6 was funny.
Yeah, that was the late race. You finding the Ice Rod or hookshot.
Yeah.
And then Ralen had Go Mode Ice and Go Mode Swamp left, and you had Go Mode Swamp and Turtle Rock left.
Yeah. As soon as I found the Flippers there, I just like, okay, I have to climb the mountain twice anyway. I can just mirror out and do Swamp first. There was like, either way, I have to climb the mountain to go to GT anyway, so mirroring here, mirroring, flying down faster. And then I was like so shaking in my GT. My execution in GT was so horrible. I probably lost like a ton of time there as well.
Not really.
Well,
we timed it. We timed it. You didn't lose much time. You actually gained some time by your big key routing, because going left first saved you about a minute at least.
Oh, you went right and found Smoky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And half magic.
Yeah. Got a half magic on top, so was still kind of worth it because I never found the lamp. So having safety for not doing or for doing silverless, since I also never found those.
Yeah. Well, if I think if my GT was a little bit better, I could have probably catched up and went pretty even. Because when you done, I was like in phase 2, I think, almost phase 3. I think I entered phase 3. But my Landmolus was sloppy. Yeah.
My Landmolus wasn't great either, and I don't want to talk more about my Aga 2.
Yeah, and then I went out of magic, and I couldn't use my cane on the Wizroids. But luckily there was like... Yeah.
So yes, any final thoughts on the seed from either of our runners?
It was fun. Can't complain with that. Only 16 bonks happy with that, actually.
Yeah,
So-
it was okay. Still, those NMG stuff that does not need to happen in rando. Poke in big chest swarm, fire rod in big chest skull, just cane in big chest Maya. Nah, not a fan of it. Hopefully next week I'll get a nicer seed.
Yeah, and hopefully this was like my first real big game, so I hope my nerves settle for the next game, so I can play properly.
Well,
it was definitely fun.
we can say from the outside it didn't look like you were nervous. Maybe at the Ganon fight at the end, but that was understandable. But otherwise, you both had a pretty good race. Yeah, last located a few things and so got randoed, but pretty awesome.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
absolutely a great race to watch. So thank you both for that.
Also, I had controller problems, or my controller disconnecting right before the race and early on at one point. Luckily, I did just a save and quit before when it disconnected, so it wasn't really a problem to reconnect it. But hopefully that won't happen again. Don't know what happened there. Hopefully it doesn't come back.
Yeah, and after I saw that not done, I was like basically tilted of my bad plays in GT, and I was like, ah. And then Gan just started being a prick. Started
Yeah.
hugging me and tossing his stuff at me, and I was like, ah. And then I got tilted and died again, and I was like, oh my god, can I just finish this? But at that point, it was like over, so yeah. Thanks for having us in, and it was amazing. Looking forward for more races.
Yeah, absolutely. GG's to both of you. Thank you for putting on a great race. And to everybody out there, be sure to give both of our runners a follow. They are doing some great rando speed runs for you. Also want to give a big shout out to our tracker for today, who is Frunken on Discord or A Frunken on Twitch. You see his Twitch link there in the chat. Be sure to give Frunken a follow as well. And thank you, of course, to my co-commentator, Bigfoot. Thank you very much. And be sure to give Bigfoot a follow while you're at it.
Yeah, that follow on my Twitch doesn't really do much because I'm not running myself. I'm just commentating, but always nice to see some people. And yeah, thanks to you, Cool Power Bell. Was very nice commentating with you. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we have plenty more rando happening on the Speed Gaming Networks. Got a little bit of a break now, but lots more league matches are starting up at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so in about an hour and a half. And there's, I think, 5 or 6 matches left on the schedule tonight. So keep your eyes on the Speed Gaming Networks, and thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.
Yeah, good night.